left for the States. During that time, we were already more or less kind of known in the scene. Not popular or anything nila, pero kilala na kami ng mga banda din ba, nung community of bands. That's where we met Jeros Dolino, who eventually recorded Influence with us.
They were looking for a drummer at that time because their first drummer left for the US, Jed.
We were all huge fans of Jeros' band at that time, Left of Center. We had a gig na nagkasabay yata kami in a place called Artist Days.
We moved within the same circles. They were looking for a drummer who could do heavy stuff and reggae at the same time.
And then we ended up talking na parang, oh, I'm a fan. Parang I like your songs, parang narinig ko sa radyo. We asked Jeros kung, parang since you're a fan, we're looking for a drummer. Would you be interested to play?
Yung nag-promote na nung Birth is si Jeros Dolino na. Siya yung drummer na nag-record nung Influence.
They kind of saw me in one of the few gigs with a reggae band and a punk band. That's why they decided to get me.
He jumped on board right away.
I played 2 songs in the first album, and I played the entire second album.
Jeros was the one who invited us. Let's record in Backyard Project, this new studio at that time. And then it was literally sa backyard lang ng bahay nung may-ari, si Sir Jongs Moanya.
I'm Efren Moanya. I'm better known as Jongs. I'm an architect by profession, but I also teach fine arts at the University of San Carlos, and I own the Backyard Project Studio.
It's like this, parang practice studio, pero may recording. That's where we chose to record the albums because everyone in the music scene in Cebu at that time was, yung tambayan nila was backyard.
College days, we would hang out sa backyard studios. Time lang talaga na kung wala nang pasok lahat, doon na lang didiretso sa backyard. Tapos yun. And Urbandub was recording. The first album was recorded in backyard studios, which a lot of us hang out.
They were recording in Backyard Project Studios. They were always there. We see each other. Kami sa kumbanda sa Sheila and Mrs. We go there very often. Mutik tambayanan sa mga banda. We hang out all the time.
The studio played a large part in, the formation probably. The Urbandub in its earliest form was way back in the late 90s. All those kids I've known for a long time. Gabby, of course. John was a fine art student. I think he was under me. I don't know if he dropped out. And then, of course, Jeros, my one-time drummer also. And Lalay, I remember him, hanging out.
Put up a studio, and then he got this guy called Mick Demeterio, the producer that we had for Influence. So, veteran na rin siya sa eksena since the 90s with his bands like TSK.
Okay na sa
Jeros introduced us to that whole group, the Backyard people who eventually became our friends, and we learned a lot from these people in terms of music and recording, tsaka yung indie na mindset. Because at that same time when we were recording there, they were putting up their independent label called Tiki Sound.
It was fun watching them, watching the intensity with which they approached the whole recording process, the cleverness with which we had to make do with what they had, equipment-wise, but still come out with the sound they wanted.
Sayop ko. Mick, ibok. Balik-balik raman niyang kuwan.
At that time, okay lang naman kami kasi hindi naman namin alam yung professional studio talaga. Tsaka at that time, parang bagong-bago pa yung digital recording. Parang sila nag-experiment din ganun sa amin. Tapos magaling din kasi yung yung sound engineer.
We signed with Tiki Sound Records. So we released the album and started selling. We released it around 2001. Since tugtog kami ng tugtog, I still had a lot of songs, mga kanta na I liked pero hindi namin natapos in time to put it in Birth. So I just continued writing and writing. So marami na akong baon coming into Influence. But this time around, dahil medyo nasanay na rin kami tumutugtog sa mga bars, I think nag-transition kami to be better musicians. Hindi na siya for fun na, in a lot of ways na parang let's take this thing seriously. Even the writing changed, the content of the songs changed then.
When we knew that being in a band was working for us, parang it was immediate na, let's do another record. only better. Conscious kami na, the song shouldn't be that long. There should be a story in every transition in the song. So, yun. That's how, I think that's how we wrote Influence.
Parang nagkaroon ng direction. And a big part of that was soul searching. Soul Searching was the first song na I wrote and was the template for what Influence would be. Yung sound na we wanted to approach.
I've recorded several albums over the years, but Influence is one of the hardest yet most fulfilling albums ever to record. As I remember it correctly, so, it took about almost a year of recording and arranging before we got the final album out.
Sa Birth kasi magulo eh. Lahat ng mga influence nandun eh. So it wasn't defined. In Influence, we wanted to do is, how do you marry yung mga different genres na it will sound seamless?
The flow of the arrangements in terms of the collaborative effort is not one-sided because Gabby is the main composer. The entire group actually contributes to the finished product.
So when we got into the studio to record the songs that would eventually become Influence, prepared kami. May goal na. Nag-change na, nagkaroon kami ng goal and what to do na. Let's take this recording seriously and take our time. The recording lasted around late 2001 and recording of the whole album until 2003. But since we're already more or less known in the scene, we're playing bigger events. So we get in contact na with mga Manila bands that would arrive. We eventually met them backstage or whatnot. And then we'd invite them to another gig that we had, like in Ronnie's Tattoo Bar. Or somebody would invite them na, panoorin natin Urbandub. I think the first band that ever saw us play was, I think, Sandwich yata.
As a band, Sandwich, we did a promo tour sa Cebu. That's where we first saw them.
Queso and Greyhounds when they come to Cebu and then panood kami ni 8. 8 even was trying to help us get signed.
I heard them at Cebu, tapos I bugged them na come up with a demo. They were nice enough to hand me one.
NU had a station in Cebu. The jocks over at the station were saying, oh, you guys have to hear Urbandub.
Mike, our drummer, Mike Dizon, had already seen them. I think a year prior or the same year.
Yung boss ko that time, si Romel Sanchez, sabi niya, samahan mo ako, papadala tayo sa Cebu. We're gonna check some bands. Sabi, check namin.
And naalala ko, all those road trips kasi we were on tour, so CD player pa nun. Yung CD nila, paulit-ulit lang. I think it was 6-7 songs. Tapos paulit-ulit lang sa tour, sa van, sa aeroplano.
Sinasabi lang niya ni Fatboy, may band yung sister ko eh. You need to see them, sabi ganun. Okay, panoorin namin. Sinasabi mo eh.
When they started playing, yung tunog nila pa, sabi ko, pucha, galing. They just sounded massive. They were tight.
And syempre, blown away talaga kami. As in, kasi ang massive yung sound nila, ang ganda ng mga songs, yung playing nila was tight. When you saw Urbandub, you wanted to see them over and over again.
Kabalo ka sa series na kwan, The Last Man on Earth. Hindi, tingnan ko tuts. Oh, man. Nakapig ka na. Buang ka na series. Kuya lang. Yeah, man.
Walang may alam nito. Walang may... Parang corny na ako lang. So, pasa-pasa lang kami within the band na parang hanggang sa kabisado na namin yung mga songs. In less than a week, na kami. Kabit na kami na parang tangina dapat labas natin to.
We visited Cebu and they hosted us, Sandwich. They took us around. I think si Lalay just learned how to drive, probably didn't have a license, but she was driving us around. And it was pretty steady. They took us to eat like the best Cebu lechon and all the other places. Tapos dinala pa kami sa beach. We spent a whole day at the beach with Urbandub. I mean, just hanging out, you know.
Eventually struck up a conversation with them. Sila Mariam Lucena, you should come to Manila, you should play.
I used to be an announcer and also a music director for NE107 back in the 90s. That's how I know dub.
And then I think we mentioned na, yeah, we're recording an album now. Sana mapass namin si Indaro kasi I knew Myrene was working for NU. You can give your demos.
Tapos napanood ko sila, Gabby, lahat sila nagbigay ng CD. Inuwi namin as record executives. Dinala namin sa Manila.
Pag uwi namin ng Manila, as soon as magkaroon kami ng time na makapag-commute around the city to submit their demo, we did.
And then you have to remember that internet was not as big. No Facebook, no social media. There were Yahoo groups. Ang meron ay Yahoo groups. So, nakakatuwa that people actually got hold of their songs, got hold of their CDs. And then when they started playing here, man, people were already singing their songs.
Ang kwento nila was, they started talking about us to the other bands na friends nila. So the buzz started.
They were already as big as they were back then. They didn't know it. They did not know it. So, pagdating nila rito, they were as shocked.
Myrene had an event for NU.
She invited us to do some gigs here in Manila.
Oh, you guys wanna play here in Manila? First gig nyo, Marikina, and then we'll help you guys with other bar gigs para sulit yung trip ninyo.
Na 1 week daw, kahit magstay kami 1 week sa Manila.
And all we have to do is just get here.
Inayos na nila yung 1 week na gigs namin. Everyday may gig, gano'n. Tapos ang sa amin lang is, paano pagpunta? Gano'n.
Gabby was trying to look for a sponsorship para lang makapunta ng Manila.
First time we went to Manila is by boat. Tapos parang nagpa-sponsor yata. It was sponsorship. Parang may dala-dala pa kaming streamer WGNA.
So what we did was we wrote a proposal letter sa WGNA, Super Ferry 12. We wrote a proposal letter, sent it. Kasi my parents had a contact with somebody in WGNA. Yung deal was, we'll give you the tickets, round-trip tickets sa boat, pero you guys have to play on the boat. So we ended up covering acoustic lang, Sublime songs, a few of our own original songs. Pero okay din kasi wala naman nanonood sa amin eh. You know, parang iba tulog, or iba kumakain lang ng itlog.
Nasa barko sila, tapos kailangan nilang mag-post sa barko. Tapos after nung pag-gigs dito sa Metro Manila, sabi niyo, bye-bye, magpo-post lang kami on stage. So maglalabas sila ng banner ng Super Ferry. Tapos But you know, they made their way.
I was having a day job and everything. And tapos si Jeros, Gabby and Lalay was on the boat. So naiwan ako and I have to face my boss and say, I have to quit this job because my bandmates are already there in Manila and I have to follow. So yun.
The funny thing, when we get here to Manila, we played that gig in Marikina.
Was a gig in Marikina Riverbanks.
Surreal. Just so in awe na I'm really here. Parang ganun.
So when we played Riverbanks gig, we were very nervous. I mean, on my end, I was very nervous. But when we played, we were kind of surprised that people were actually singing along to our songs. So that was a huge eye-opener, especially for me. I didn't realize na napapagigan na pala yung kanta namin dito.
Ang saya nung gig, pare, kasi first time namin makadating ng Manila, literally fresh off the boat. And then, pagpunta namin sa backstage, big event eh. And then all the bands that we look up to na napapanood lang namin sa TV, napapanood namin sa Music Bureau, shows like that.
I was shocked. That was the first time na I played in the gig na ganun karami yung tao.
We weren't really sure how people would react to us kasi first time nila kami mapapanood, first NU event namin, so we didn't also know how we were gonna play, if some of us would fuck it up or... Pero pag tugtog namin, it felt sakto eh. Swak yung vibe. It felt right ba being on that stage, just performing, and then biglang when we started playing Soul Searching for the crowd, gulat kami that they knew the song. Not everybody, not the whole crowd naman, pero some people knew the song. And they were moshing and...
From that day on, I knew that this is gonna last for a long time for me.
Jeros was playing with us the first few tours. Jeros Dolina pa. And yun nga, eventually we were able to release Influence during that 2003 to 2004 na period.
Nung natapos yung Influence, nung nire-record namin yung Influence, si Jeros Dolina, no? Umalis siya.
Yun nga, like what I told you, we were overwhelmed when not here. Me, most of all, actually, even if I was the oldest guy in the band. I wasn't used to the attention. I didn't expect any of it, so I got tired. Basically, if I had to describe it in the fewest words possible. They were ready and I was not. So that was it. So I kind of left the band after that.
Tapos yung nag-promote na nung Influence si Jan Mendoza.
We had to call Jan.
Bali, magkabarkada talaga kami ni Gabi. Nung time dati, may isang studio doon sa Cebu, doon kami nag-abot-abot ba. Iba-iba pa yung banda namin. Tapos yun, naging close kami lahat. Doon na kami nagsimulang magka-influensya sa isa. Nung dati kasi niyayaya ako parati ni Gabi pag wala silang drummer. Ako yung kinukuha nilang sessionista nung dati sa Cebu pa. Tumawag si Gabi sa akin, parang niyaya niya akong okay lang ba na maging na talaga full-time sa Urbandub.
Jan naman in Cebu would always, a lot of times, would session for us pag wala si Jeros. Because Jan had a band in Cebu called Capsule. Nung 2003 na yun na si Jan na yung pumalit, the first gig niya in Manila was Rock Awards agad.
Yung Rock Awards, kinakabahan kami lahat kasi we know Rock Awards. We just watch Rock Awards in Cebu. Sa TV lang kasi namin pinapanood yun. That was also the first gig ni Jan.
Parang first na gig ko dito nila sa Manila, parang malaki agad. Tapos yun.
Kinabahan siya pero parang alam naman namin si Jan, magaling naman siya na drummer talaga So parang confident naman kami.
Kinabahan pero hindi masyado kasi medyo comfortable na ako sa kanila kasi. Yung inisip ko lang talaga tumugtog lang.
Our song was nominated for Song of the Year, Soul Searching.
And the Song of the Year is
Soul Searching by Urbandub.
And then they asked us to perform. Ang laking opportunity. Like, you only watch this on TV.
Hindi ko in-expect na may panalunan palang award. Masaya rin ako sa nangyari.
Especially during that time, di ba, Rock Awards, big deal talaga Rock Awards
Ang saya lang namin na ganun na nanalo kami ng award. Song of the Year pala, yung Soul Searching. Kasi yun yung madalas sa airwaves
A lot of events started happening after the Rock Awards. Yun yung lucky break kasi even after Rock Awards, dun na kami in-offera to sign with the label.
Actually, first time ko narinig ang Urbandub sa Sugar Free. Alright, tama ako kay Jal, yung basis ng Sugar Free, no? May pinarinig siya sa aking music ng Urbandub. Tapos pinahinggan ko, nagustuhan ko siya. Tapos pinitch ko sa boss ko, nagustuhan din ng boss ko. Then I found out na good friend pala ni Ebe, sila Gab. So hiningi ko yung number nung manager from Ebe. So nakuha ko yung number ni Alex Lim, manager ng Urbandub. So that's the time na kinontak ko yung band and tinanong ko sa kanila kung they wanna sign up.
Dito sa Manila kasi pwede mong gawing career. Decidean din namin na lilipat kami dito para yun magawa namin na maging career talaga yung music.
Anong nangyari after that? You asked them if they want to sign up. What happened?
They were medyo hesitant at first kasi I think meron kasing before na, di ba, if you sign up with a label, parang sell out ka na.
If a label asks us to sign with them or if they're offering, na sana pumayag sila na may full creative control tayo para we can keep our indie principles.
Like we have total control in creative they didn't want to change what we were doing.
Being able to write the album that we want to write, then we're fine with that deal.
And pretty much yung time na yun, indie talaga sila eh. They released, I think, 2 albums ata eh, before nagkaroon sila ng album sa label eh. So, medyo matagal din yung process before talaga parang pumayag sila na, sige, this time mag-ano na tayo, mag-label na tayo.
Even when we got signed, we're just here to represent Cebu. Mga bisita lang tayo dito, so let's just run with it. So everything that came after that was parang unexpected and parang blessing siya. And we never really expected anything like that, di ba? We were content playing in Cebu. It just so happened we were invited here in Manila and we never really thought anything out of it.
Nag-decide na kami na dito na kami magstay, ganyan. Yun, gig, kahit saan kami, na napapadpad. Yun, hanggang sa naging ganito.